leave meeting. No.
No!
All of a
shit,
sudden,
I've just
everybody
dropped my
just
phone.
abandoned ship.
Yeah. Everybody just leaves, and I'm like, Cath's gone. That was
We didn't mean it.
I've just realised, basically, the Zoom is the shape of a T.
TT Tower.
TT Tower.
Hello, and welcome to this year's audio roundup. We did this last year when we'd only had like 4 audios out, so this one's going to be a hell of a lot longer than last year's.
Just a touch.
Just a touch. So, there's an audio for that.
Is it?
Spoilers.
So we're going to go around and we're going to talk about like stuff we enjoyed working on this year individually. And then at the end we're going to say what's coming in the future. I warn you now, this is going to be a long one, but I feel like it deserves it because we had a lot come out, and I feel like it needs.
Get your cocoa, get your cookies, sit down, put your feet up,
get comfy.
Make absolute
exactly. So, first on our lovely list, we have Chambers, and he is covering My Dear Pip.
Yes. What would you like to know?
That's a good start.
What is My
Well, you
Dear
brought me
Pip?
here, so...
Just talk about My Dear Pip, like the premise and what you enjoyed writing and who was involved and that sort of stuff.
Okay. Well, My Dear Pip is a project that was initially a roleplay back on TikTok. But the thing is, the story was that good, and I fell in love with it. So I wanted to do something with my version of the Master and actually form it up into a proper beginning, middle, and end story. And so the only one that's out at the moment, because, you know, life, is when the Master meets Pip. And I've told this story before, but it started off as the most nerdy, innocent thing in the world. Ever.
With you? Really?
Yes, it did. Honest to God. Well, I say fortunately or unfortunately, in the telling of the story and with the actor's process, things became a little more adult and PG-13.
Very beyond the PG-13 rating.
But it wasn't out of place, oddly enough, because when I was doing the edits, like you look at it, it starts off during the Dalek invasion in the 22nd century, and that's a grim, dark, really disturbing kind of world. And so from that, grim, dark, and disturbing things will happen, and grim, dark, and disturbing people will be involved. And that's basically us. And Pip is a survivor of the Dalek invasion, and for reasons that we don't yet know, the Master has taken a bit of a shine to this one and rescues Pip.
I am Pip.
Saves her from robotization.
Would you be Pip by any chance, Abby?
Gets inside Pip's head and convinces her that the Doctor is the main villain. He's the one that's behind everything that's loathsome and evil in the world, and he tempts Pip to the dark side. And like I said, the scene where he tells Pip to kneel, and in my head it was nod to Star Wars, and it turned into something completely different.
Yeah, it did.
It's and what we're going into, because episode 2 is due to be recorded very soon.
Yeah.
And we're going into the possibilities of, what would happen if we change certain events in the Doctor's history to get revenge on him. And the final outcome of that episode, of episode 2, is going to blow people's minds, because there's something coming up at the end that nobody's going to see coming. And I'm very, very excited. It was just nice because I was inspired by Big Finish, and they'd done an awful lot of their own Master series. And I thought, well, you can actually do stories where the Master is the main character, and not have everything go wrong right from the start. In fact, what I like about the way that I'm writing the Master is that he's the kind of Master who, if he says he's going to go and do something, the chances are he's already done it, and he's telling you that it's happened. He doesn't pontificate. He doesn't sit there going, I shall wipe out the universe, and blah, 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 and then the Doctor turns up and stops it because I know it's too late. By the time you've heard about it, the Master's already done it. You are screwed. And it's just really nice to write the Master and they play the Master because, he's the best bad guy, and I love him a lot.
It was fun playing.
And he gets the girl as well, so it's.
In all fairness, we've always said this before. It's always fun to play the evil ones.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Very much. I like playing the Doctor as well, but there's a great therapy in playing the Master.
I think everybody here. No, Jim has kind of played a baddie as well. I think everyone here at some point has played a baddie. So yes. I feel like we can all kind of, because obviously Chelsea's the toy maker. Cath's played a mermaid who eats people. David I can't talk about, but he has been a baddie in something that's coming soon. I can't talk about it. Jim was a evil knight in Tusks, and Robert, yes.
Robert.
And Strax was Mr. B. And I was the Rani.
Need we say more?
No.
Well, I think we should say more because that's the whole point of this.
Oh, yes.
Here. Let's wait our turn. Don't worry. I got it covered.
But no, I say, because obviously I play Pip in the My Dear Pip the series. I do, yes. Shut up.
I wonder why she kept on turning up.
Yeah, what's going on? But no, it's nice because obviously I count Pip as a bad guy as well, and she's a whole new level. Because obviously I do the Rani as well, but the Rani and Pip are complete opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to evilness.
It's night and day.
Yeah.
Well, because Pip's got the what can you call it, the delicacies of being human, which the Master completely exploits. But there's going to be a twist in the tail in that dynamic as well. We're going to find out a lot about Pip over the next 3 episodes because there's an initial run of 4 stories. Which makes up the first phase. It's kind of like the first volume, if you like. And then we'll go off and do something else, and then we'll come back and tell the other bits of the stories because it's kind of gone from trying to jam everything from the TikToks into a coherent script, then having bright new ideas, and then sort of go, well, if we sort of shift that over that way, and then put these new ideas here, and things will echo and carry on.
It's like a big puzzle piece. At the moment,
it is,
isn't it?
And it's not going to be essentially a copy and paste of the TikTok scripts because there were no scripts. We were kind of making it up as we went along.
Yeah, we were. Damn.
But hopefully get all the different elements in there because I think the story that we were setting up really had some real potential. So that's the overall goal at the moment. And the immediate goal is to get the bloody thing out, before the end of the Melvin.
Yeah, so there will be another episode coming in the near future. And speaking of future, David, Future Selves.
That was a good segue, wasn't it?
I was just saying that was expert, right?
Really smooth from one.
Future Selves, David. Now, I will say this because this is kind of like a nice connection because last time we done the audio roundup, Future Selves had just come out, the first one. So that's kind of like, that's kind of, Chelsea was the newbie.
Not anymore.
Weird.
So yeah, Future Selves, David. Can't hear you.
What a
we
great
can't hear
sound.
I'm in Clan Fandango. We're having issues.
Hello?
Hey.
Yay. Sorry. Yeah, Future Selves was a fantastic project I was involved with. This was Matt's Future Doctor series, and this was the first episode for that. And I got cast as a character called 3, and I hadn't, as we were talking about villains before, we kind of like, I hadn't really played any mage villains, but I mean, 3 was an interesting character to play because it was an interest. It was involved with this intricate plot, which threw me. I was reading the script and like I was going, it's going this way, and no, it takes a total left turn, and it's like, whoa, like I did not see that coming.
Typical Ian writing to me.
I know,
Typical
and it was
Ian
brilliant. And I'm like thinking, oh, is this where my character's going at? Because 3. If you've listened to the audio, I mean, 3 comes off really agitating, more like a villain, but like every villain, I don't think he sees himself as the villain. He's just concerned with all the others and what's happening. But it was so much fun playing in this world that Matt and Ian had put together. I mean, for the first episode, it was such a banger because, like I said, there were things where you thought the script was going to go one way, and then it was totally. It's one of those things I wish I had stopped reading halfway through, and then kind of like, okay, next read through, I'm going to read through. Holy crap, this is what happened.
Well, without spoilers.
I don't really want to spoil
well,
it. Yeah.
in all fairness, this thing is about
so
spoilers, and it's over a year old now.
Yeah.
But it's so good. If you haven't listened to it, you have to.
I know that the last scene with, well, I was going to say it, with my Rani, none of you got that. None of you got that part of the script.
No.
So I knew from the beginning, and nobody else other than
the only
me and Strax
3
knew.
actors that knew what was happening was me, Tina, who plays my companion, and obviously Abby, who was going to end up being the Rani in it. And even me and Ian were like, don't let the cast see all of the script. Just drip feed it to them. Okay. This is how we're going to do this.
Good because when I was reading 3, and as I was getting further into the script, and I'm like, I think I know who this is. And then there's a certain line I have in it where I do say those iconic obey me lines. And I thought, oh God, I'm going to be the master. And then like, I was like, oh, but wait, what the heck? It's like those cloak and dagger moments where you're like, no, it's not, but it's something completely different. Holy crap.
It's like that scene. There's that scene because Ian kind of done the same sort of thing there's a scene between me and James in that where you think that James is also a villain.
Yeah,
that was
very
so
clever writing, and he was like, because I think Brandon was guessing one person. I think David had said, I think it's this person.
I had it hold like it was like one of those noteboards, like conspiracy theories. It's kind of like going,
having said that, when I
person
originally read it through, because I read all 4, I thought it was going to be the master, and then Ian was like, interesting you say that, now go and reread it. I was like, okay. Well, if I missed that bit between you and James was just one of my.
That's still up there. One of my favourite scenes I've done.
It was one of my favourite scenes to record.
It was one of my favourite scenes, and I'm not even in that scene.
It was great. It was great because it was great because it was very much the case of it's a dynasty standoff, and it was great because at that point I didn't think me and Abby.
Me and you haven't really had many scenes together. Really, even now we've not had that many scenes together.
But but no, I think that was brilliant. It's a taster of things to come, and again, like David said, Ian's script is so delicious. That's the word I like to use. So delicious because it's completely different. It's Doctor Who done in a very interesting and in an intellectual way. It's not like
beyond me. I'm like, what?
Some of the words I have to say, I'm like, sorry, what does that say?
Some of those read-throughs were fun.
Tina, I mean, it's not just me that has issues. I mean, Tina, obviously, she's not her English isn't. She's not natively English, and some of the words that she has because
she did so
how
good,
she speaks. She said that there are like th words that they don't have in Belgium, which she struggles on sometimes because of just being Belgium. And it's like some of the stuff he puts in is just. But Ian will put so many nods to various different books, TV stuff, you name it. There's so many like nods to so many different things in there. It's just.
The man knows his lore.
Whatever he doesn't know, he's probably researched before.
Yeah. it was a fun read through. Like it was the very first, I think, one of the major roles I got involved with, and like I said, I enjoyed playing 3 because it was a chance to be kind of when we find out he's not the main bad guy, but like be a bad guy. It was fun to play a different side of kind of that of characters I've played in the past, which tend to be more good. So yeah, it was a great kind of experiment of what's to come later on, and then getting to work with so many brilliant cast members within TT was a privilege. Because
it's still weird in my head that was all done before Chelsea.
I know.
I don't know.
Was it done before Cath as well? Was Cath?
Yeah, because I think Cath. Whoa, was
Cath?
Yeah, it might have been done before Cath as well.
I think so.
Damn.
Possibly, because I know
That's early. That's early,
That's
TT.
early.
I was there for the future stuff when that started, but that was like.
Oh, you just
Yeah,
started then, probably.
Well, yeah, because I was there for Abby's first audio as well.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah,
the-
that's true. Yeah.
Damn,
Chelsea wasn't
crazy.
part of it.
No, we Chelsea wasn't even contributed to anything back then.
And now
So-
you're stuck with me.
Doctors. The other doctor we currently have on our channel is queer. James.
Hi.
Vashta Nerada.
Yes, Invasion
Oh.
of the Vashta, which I wanted to select to speak about as the roundup because I feel that to me was a very powerful story to tell, and obviously it introduces another companion, TJ, who's played brilliantly by Brandon, absolutely brilliant. So the premise is that we get introduced to TJ, who is this 17-year-old sort of rebel from the 1950s in Hensby, like this little sleepy village, and people go missing when they go into a fun fair. And the doctor and Miss Erin at that time were investigating and going undercover, and sort of two worlds collide. And as the title suggests, there is Vashta Nerada. There's there's a lot of like powerful dark moments, but also there's a lot of human moments. And that was one of the scripts when I wrote it. It was very powerful and very nerving because it had a lot of personal elements, especially with the homophobia side to it, and with the I wanted to tell a queer story from the past. And again, the cast were absolutely brilliant. I mean, again, I still can't listen to Mr. Jim Jam played by David. Literally, we were in this read through and I can remember he did it and we all our faces just turned like a pale of white. We were like,
It's fun to play baddies.
it's fun to play daddies. It really is. And it's great because to me, I think that story kind of was a turning point, I think, for queer, because now the trio is formed. That sort of guided us through the rest of series 2 and to the upcoming season. But again, everyone did absolutely amazing. It's one of those pieces where and also as an editor, I was really proud of my editing skills, because apart from like previously I was like, oh, I could have changed it, oh, I'm still new, but apart from it was like, I really like that. But yeah,
it was a lot of fun playing a psychotic clown in that.
Yeah.
Just letting
I
loose.
feel like you've ticked a box off there. Play psychotic clown.
Clown. I do have a list down here. it's down there.
Play homophobic parent.
But
And go on, David. Sorry.
oh no, I was just gonna say it was so much fun just like letting loose in that script, and Jim going more, and just like almost breaking my voice. But
Be more creepy.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like completely. It was so much fun to just do. I mean, I always enjoy doing creature voices, but like doing like the high pitched clown voice was just a lot of fun.
I can remember we were really kind of like we were really excited, and again, it was excited also to have Brandon as well, because again, and with the reception that it got, you know, loads of people really enjoyed it. You know, as someone who is an OC doctor and someone who is wanting to tell that type of story, you kind of have this nervousness of kind of like, oh my God, are people going to like it? Are people going to understand it? Are people going to, you know, and yeah, like, you know, with certain topics, or like, okay, so we're in the 1950s, but it's not the American 1950s, it's the British 1950s, and so things are slightly different. But yeah, again, it was, to me, that's one of the jewels of season 2. Yeah.
And as a side note, to queer, Strax, Melvin.
Yeah, Professor Melvin.
The spin-off that I didn't
Spin-off
think it was
that you
gonna
never thought you were going to have. Yeah, the spin-off.
A fantastic
I love how
spin-off.
Cath now perks up. She's like, "Oh, Melvin, I'm Cath. Hi."
Well, this is it. I mean, it's a kind of by a happy accident I got Melvin in the first place anyway, because when James was casting for the first series, he was like, "Oh, can I do this voice? Can I do that voice? Can I? Any chance you could do an old sort of professor?" I'm like, I'm the next support worker. I've worked with loads of old people. I'm sure I can find some voice from way back whenever. Professor Ian Melvin was born. Hello. And yeah, he was in Nightmare
Night
Museum.
Museum.
Yep.
Think of it then for a second. And then the next thing I know, James is like, I'm thinking of doing the spin-off for Melvin and introducing the daughter, Honey, was it? Yes.
Yeah.
It's played by Cath. And he has this little 3-part sort of adventure where he just goes off and does a little bit of sleuthing and with some, oh God, it was just Josh in it. He's just
With Quill, just, yeah, the little team.
absolutely love him as Quill. And then, like, James was, he's given, for any Doctor Who fan out there, there are a few characters that you just think you absolutely like love. And to have like K9, I'm sorry, but I know he's a stupid little robotic dog, but there is something about that stupid little robotic dog, especially when you hear his little affirmative, you know, and it's just like, and the
I have
guy
a strong dislike for that dog.
yeah. But I think he was sort of, he was possibly my era, maybe. I don't know whether it's an era thing. I don't know. But when is it Robin that does the voice? Is it Robin?
Yeah, Robert. Yeah, Robert G. Birchall.
When he came on and did the voice in the recording, I was like, I actually lost my place in the script because I couldn't.
I think we all did. I think
I was like, holy shit, this is actually really good. But yeah, he basically Professor Melvin has about 3 different adventures where he fights ghosts. He blows up Slitheen with pickled egg vinegar.
at Honey School.
At Honey School, and just has these like silly little adventures, but they're actually really well written and really fun to play as well. So it's
How is it?
I hadn't really worked with Cath before either.
Yeah, how is it playing Honey, Cath?
For me, it was a dream. So like, it sounds silly, but like, I was really, really lucky to like James asked me personally for the role of Honey. And it just came up because we were talking and I can't think what I'd said. And then obviously when I'd gone on to talk about that, I knew the area well because it was where I grew up when I was younger. And James and I just sat chatting and it was almost like I was back there. And it really helped kind of like bring my character to life, and knowing Honey's kind of vibe, being quite quirky and out there, but also still somewhat stuck in the past. It was just everything to me that I am to a degree.
It was, I knew I wanted to have Cath in something. And, you know, because I thought again, I think with everyone that's been in TT, the voice acting is just superb. There's so much talent. So much talent. And so when I was kind of like, you know what, I'm going to, because I wanted something different with Melvin. Yes, it is part of the queer universe, but I wanted it to be different. I wanted to have to stand on its own 2 legs. And, you know, with Cath, with Robin, with Matt, with Josh, with everyone who's been involved, it was great, and it was the idea, like, yeah, me and Cath, because we both grew up in Cambridge, which is primarily where the first story was set. And I was like, you know what? I want to give this to Cath, because I feel like she knows who Honey is. And that's a rarity, I think, with roles. I think
and she plays my daughter very well.
She plays it very well. I wasn't, I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't expecting the views and the kind of the success of it. I thought it was just going to be like a little one-off spin-off.
It's scary enough when you do an original creation, but then when you've got like a spin-off of something you've done, you're like, is this going to work? Is it not? How is it going to be? And it's done really well.
It's done really well. I mean, it's granted a season 2, so
Speaking of spin-offs.
Speaking of spin-offs.
Chelsea. Molly.
Yes. Whenever we were first told that we were going to do this whole shebang, I was like, Molly. I'm talking about Molly. I'm talking about Molly. That is what I'm talking about. Nobody else can have it. That's mine. No, Molly. Oh, I love Molly, but like Molly has and I've said this many times before, how Molly has like a special place in my heart, mainly because it's the first character that I've ever voiced for TT. It was the character that I got asked to come in and do whenever we were doing the before Vashta. And I never realized, like, exactly as a spin-off, I never realized how much like it has grown since, from just being a character and before Vashta. Like, she was like, Molly's just a wee Irish mammy who moved over from Ireland to London, takes care of her weans and all that stuff.
Is that the
and works
tagline?
for
Molly, the wee Irish mammy.
That's
basically.
That's it. He works for the lovely Mr. B,
Hello.
voiced by
You say lovely. He's not really that nice.
10 years.
Voice actor's
10 years.
lovely,
Just
but
10 years.
character.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I never really, like, whenever Abby was first saying to me about doing, hey, do you want to do a spin-off of a spin-off? And I was like, what do you mean? So we were saying about the Molly story and doing Molly's backstory and everything. And I was like Abby knows how much I absolutely love doing this. I was just so looking forward to this happening, like just doing the whole backstory of doing, like, old Ireland and everything, and just Molly's journey from being a Wayne, growing up to like really growing up quickly, and to then moving to London, having her kids, working for Mr. B. It's great. And meeting Jenny and the rest of the gang in before Vashta. Like, it's absolutely incredible. And then we just did the Molly 2. And that one was, I think that was the most emotional I got.
Mm.
And it definitely challenged me. Definitely put me acting skills to the test. So it did, because Abby had to write about me giving birth. And that was great. That was fun. That was fun. First recording done. But no, it's like, obviously for me, I grew up with, like, old Irish stories, old Irish films and everything. And Abby has this and yes, I'm going to big you up now. Abby has this amazing way of setting the scene in an audio that you can visually picture in your head. Like, every single scene, you can picture it happening, the old houses, the people, how they dress, even though it never says it, but you can picture it all in your head. And just the amount of, like, attention to detail that she has is absolutely phenomenal. And you should be really proud of yourself. So there you go.
Say Molly, because obviously when I was writing before Vashta, obviously Jenny's an established character. So Molly is very much, she's like my baby. I created this character. And I literally know that girl's story from start to finish, literally. Because she will be coming back in 2023. Not in her own spin-off though, sadly.
No,
we've only got 2 of those.
Yeah, she only gets 2.
She only gets 2. But yeah, I love Molly. She's fun. She is a fun one to write. Yeah, and Chelsea portrays her really well, and I'm so lucky and happy that we managed to get you on board, Chelsea, because nobody else
Yeah,
could play
'cause it was
Molly.
like-
Let's face it.
No,
It's
it was
true.
totally by
Nobody else can
accident.
play Molly.
Yeah, stop it, you. And it was only by accident. It was
Yeah.
purely by accident because we were, before I even met any of yous, I was supposed to, well, I was doing this series at the time, but my character wasn't introduced yet.
Mm.
And then it was only by chance. It was like, it must have been about 10 minutes before there was supposed to be the read through. And I wasn't really involved in that script. But I texted the girl who was running it and I was just like, can I join and just listen to everybody? Because I missed that. I missed like
Yeah.
script reads and everything. I missed listening to people do it because obviously, and then Zoom was like a whole new thing to me as well. And I was like, can I just sit in and watch? And that was grand. So I did. I sat in and watched, listened to everybody. Must have been about it must have took about 3 hours. It was long because everyone was just faffing about.
Yeah.
And no, I absolutely loved it. And then it was the first time I met Abby. And it was only because I opened my mouth before everyone was leaving. I said something and she was like, wait, are you Irish?
Are you Irish?
I was like, Irish and proud, ha ha ha, LOL, smiley face. And then after that, Abby got my details and was just like, here, do you want to play a character?
Recruited.
You're Irish. I need an Irish person. And I was like, God, yes. Yes, of course. I will happily do it. Yes. And now I'm here. Onions are all stuck with me for life. So if it's anybody's to blame, it's Abby. But no,
You know what, I think Abby's
Molly
to blame for
fun-
most of us knowing each other, to be fair.
I think
There
it's,
you
all
go.
Abby's
So
fault.
it's the
all
common
her
denominator.
fault. There you go. Get that on the
Abby's
t-shirt.
the
It's
reason I
all
was in
Abby's fault.
It was Abby all
Abby
along.
It was Abby all along.
Abby all-
Speaking of me, hello, it's my
Are
turn to
you?
talk.
Hooray!
Huzzah!
R101.
Oh, such a good-
Oh, so happy.
Oh, it's
That was
such
a
a
grand
jolly
old- that was a
fun
grand
The
old
happy
video.
historical one.
So that was my first proper historical script that wasn't like a fictional one like Molly. It was a full-on, like, I had to do my research. I got a book and I highlighted all the facts and figures and all this stuff when I was writing that one. Oh, sweet Lord. I'm not in it, but I wrote it and I was there at the recording. I was there to push the button because Chelsea was too scared to, so I did it.
I don't like being in even in Zooms. I can't take control. I'm just like, nah, get away, give it to somebody else.
You did it for Dickensian in episode 1.
But that was by accident.
Another accident. There's a lot of
And then
accidents. that
Lots
I
of
happen.
know
accidents.
it's just
But-
anyway.
But yeah, R101 was, I've been on about doing that audio ever since I started doing audios, and I wasn't going to write it. And then Brandon actually persuaded me to do it. He was like, if there's anything you're going to write that's going to make it, like TT stand out a bit, it's going to be R101. So Brandon persuaded me to pursue it, and eventually I got around to doing it. But it came out on its anniversary, so that was kind of sweet. But I will say this: the cast and crew of that audio went all out. Like everything
Oh, they
was done.
did.
Everything, all the voice acting was superb. Like Chelsea's directing was superb. Like, I mean, all 3 members of the cast here. David was the news presenter, so he wasn't even on the ship. He was lucky.
That's a fun.
Yes, all three cast members here who were in it died, and I feel like you all done it really well. No, actually, Chambers
No, I was
didn't.
going to say mine
No,
didn't
Chambers
die.
didn't.
No, mine.
Chambers
Chambers-
just burned his
Hands
hands to a
But
cinder.
Chambers
Yeah.
did that. Oh my
Telephone.
god! When I was listening to Chambers
Telephone.
doing those lines,
was-
oh god, was that
The
just
best thing about that was
just-
Emily.
brilliant? Especially when you're trying to explain to this French woman. No,
We-
phone, telephone.
Emily was brought in as emergency casting because the person who was supposed to play that character couldn't make it, and I didn't explain to her anything. I just knew that she could speak French, and she wasn't there for the whole of the rest of the recording apart from that one scene. And obviously she joins and there's Chambers there going, ah, and she's like, oh.
S'il vous plaît,
How to
monsieur.
Make Friends and Influence People by Matt Chambers. Available now in all good bookshops.
I do feel like we done it with the right level of respect.
Absolutely.
Did.
Oh, absolutely.
We did.
And the edit just
It
Oh,
was
Yeah.
fantastic.
I remember the premiere whenever all the cast were listening to it. Even myself, like whenever we listened, just everything together, everybody either turned their cameras off or like me having a glass of wine and a tissue in the other hand, just like literally crying. It was honestly so good. And for that being my first directing project as well, that's the one that set me off to want to direct more. I
Yeah.
wanted to do more
Yeah.
behind the scenes things as well as voice acting. Like honestly, R101 definitely
yeah.
kicked off a lot of things for everybody.
I think it did. I think it's also, to me, how I see it as there's many jewels in this crown of TT, but I do feel like that was the one where there was such a sense of camaraderie. There was such a
Camaraderie.
But there was a sense of spirit, and there was a great sense of like, we are going to do this, and we're going to do this to the best of our abilities.
A lot of the voice actors in that as well. We had like Dominic G. Martin and Jimmy Wolfe, and a lot of them had only done Who before. So this was kind of their first like pure historical that didn't have the Doctor involved in any way or form. Because I remember when I originally started saying that I was casting for R101, that because obviously the only reason why I know of it was because of Straw Warning and Charlotte Pollard, and I know quite a lot of people were asking me like, oh, is it the Eighth Doctor? And I was like, no, it has nothing to do with Doctor Who. It is a full-on pure historical, much too much people's like confusion, you know.
Me not thinking it was an airplane.
Yeah, Chelsea thought it was an aeroplane.
I don't know why, even though the picture was right in front of me, I was just like, oh, it's an airplane. And I'm like, no, it's not, Chelsea. You'd think with me directing it that I would know exactly what it is.
It's a beautiful script because up until a certain point, obviously, there's a little bit of comedy in it. You know, you've got Chambers' character doing the shipping forecast. And, you know, and if my granny had wheels, you know,
she'd be a wagon.
And
I genuinely thought those bits were going to get cut out because
there's really sort of nice, fun little bits in it. And then I think is it G does that? There's that one line I think he does, and then you just know that shit's literally about to hit the fan.
I saw when we were doing the premiere, so G was climbing up the ladder to go drop the ballast, and you could see Chelsea go, oh crap, it's that bit.
Yeah.
I think everybody that was watching,
everybody was like, oh
it was just
no.
like,
Yeah.
It's like being at the edge of a roller coaster, and then
Yeah.
and then it's like, here it goes.
It's just
So,
you in for the long haul.
Completely to flip this whole thing on its head, we're going back to Who. Well, it's sort of Who. It's Who, but it's not Who, but I don't really class it as Who. Beyond British Shores.
Yes. Let me get comfy. For myself, with Beyond British Shores, this is the audio I think that made me, if you get me, like to be able to have that confidence to actually do voice acting. So Beyond British Shores is, I don't know how to word this. So it's Paternoster gang. Paternoster gang related. And for myself, I got to play a villain for the first time ever. And it's like the polar opposite to me as a character in general, that it was so enjoyable to play. And it just, the writing in it was so good, and the people who were involved with it, like Alia, who was playing Madame Vashta, because essentially it's just like two serpents talking to each other is the only way I can describe it, because it's that level of hate that they both kind of have for each other, where I'm getting to toy and play with someone, to then Alia's character being this strong, independent, I know what's going to happen and you can't do this to me, I will protect everybody at all costs. but also knowing the story behind it as well, and it's actually really sad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And
really
it's like,
sad.
as I was reading about it and like getting to know different parts through the story that's behind it, it kind of breaks me at the end. It really does. And it's like trying not to actually cry when I got to the end was so hard. And it was like the first proper recording I'd done live as well. There's so much to impact from this as for an episode. And with like, I was honoured to be involved in something Paternoster gang related.
You had fun with that word, didn't you?
I know.
Oh, I forgot Chelsea gets to kill you in that one, didn't she?
Yeah.
When she
Hooray.
stabbed you.
Yeah, this is the first one that me and Cath actually have worked together on, and we were just
yeah.
like, yes, finally. But no,
It was so good.
so good, and it was how like your character was like a big sister to my character.
Yeah.
But it was just like, she's the stern one, me, I'm just like, but I just want to
It's
be
just a
on
baby.
land.
You
I'm
just want to
sorry,
go
it's
off
a
with Ben.
baby.
That's what
You just want to go off
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah.
And then he forgets me.
Yeah,
The
I
other
feel
weird
like
Irish.
I do feel like when you come across like your list of dream casting, Cath and Chelsea as like mermaids is just up there, isn't it? Let's face
Yeah.
it.
It's the hair color.
True.
It's the hair.
Yeah.
It's always the hair.
It's also got one of my favourite lines in from Chambers.
Oh God.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Back
Most
to
quoted
Cath.
internal line ever.
For anybody who didn't know, I seem to just get about people.
Oh, dear.
Coming
Not
soon.
in real life, in audio.
Yeah.
No, like it's the smallest scene, and it's actually heartbreaking when you think about it. But like,
It's one of those
I had
things
to
where
say.
it's that scene, even though the story was absolutely fabulous, it's that moment of I'm going to remember that story because of you dirty
Dirty
whore.
Come on, Chambers.
Christ.
Let's hear
Come
it
on,
one
Chambers.
time.
Come
One
on.
time.
How many men have you been shagging, you dirty whore? I
Oh.
charge
Like,
extra,
for that,
for these.
I
Can
feel
I get
like
that as my ringtone?
I feel like I feel like I pushed a lot of people with that audio as well,
You like
including
pushing
Alia.
people.
Including
like the
Alia.
first
Chelsea had to
time-
do 2 accents.
Oh man.
Oh,
It was
God,
the
yeah.
first time that like I'd had to like die twice.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Because obviously the drowning on the boat,
yeah.
Mhm.
and to act that was the first time I'd done like proper voice acting, kind of
It can be
actually
tiring,
having
can't it?
to, yeah,
Oh, it is very tiring.
People think voice
Yeah.
acting is easy. It's
like you're
not.
being
No.
drowned. And it's like most people would be like, it's fine, we'll find a clip, we'll just add
No,
it
me-
in. And it's like, the thing with TT is it is acted. The majority of the whole thing is acted. You hear
Mhm.
somebody dying, we're dying.
Do you know
Yep.
the thing I love about Beyond
Regularly.
British Shores, which just sounds really weird? I'm barely in it. So it's quite nice to sit back and listen to something like where
I'm not
I'm
even in it
basically
at all because there's no
No.
scratch.
I'm basically on a beach going, what the hell is going on throughout most of that audio? It's great. I just leave it to everybody else.
One of the funniest things for me is that I had to speak very softly, Englishy, poshy, washy type. And then I remember when we got to recording, I got very nervous about the English accent, but jig, that I forgot how to speak my own dialect. And then I sounded like a girl from Dairy Girls.
Yes.
And that's what happened. And then I had to speak some Spanish.
Yeah.
And the only thing in Spanish I know is Hola, soy Dora from
Yeah.
Dora the Explorer. And so I had to get Ian to send me voice notes of how to say these lines in Spanish. I've never spoke Spanish since
Does he
then.
speak Spanish?
Yeah, she speaks. Yeah, he does.
He's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's multi-talented. That man.
¿Quién
It's
eres?
sickening.
A man
Let me
of
read
culture.
you.
Yeah. Edit.
I did not know that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say this though. Like I know we done a behind the duvet for that, but that went through so many edits.
Not
That
surprised.
script, I
Mm.
wrote about 4 times, deleted the first 2, went back because originally it was going to be Sea Devils, and then I completely flipped it, and
Yeah,
then
it was, wasn't it?
like yeah, that one probably went through the most. I don't like it. Start again edits.
Mhm.
I deleted it all.
We
Because I
love
know
that.
at one
Much
point
better
when
this
you were
way.
like, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
put it down because I'm not gonna be able to write,
Yeah.
and I don't want it to knock me. Because, I'm glad that you did kind of reassess it, because it really has allowed like your creative talent to flow from that moment.
Mhm.
It just kind of is seamless.
Thank you.
Should be proud of yourself, mate. Yeah,
Right.
All
proud.
of you should.
Or
Strax.
Chelsea would say, all of you.
Yes.
All
Speaking,
yous.
Olivians. Speaking of Paternoster gang with Strax,
Yes.
Paternoster bites.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Pat bites.
They are
We love
so
a
much
pat bite.
fun.
Love a pat bite.
They are our little sort of 10, 15-minute segments, isn't it, into the sort of the world of Paternoster. Some of which we've done from the comic book edits that you've done.
Yeah,
had a
we've been
few,
doing the comic ones. Yeah.
We've had a few guest writers who have written a few for us, which is
Yeah.
always nice.
Paul Burns, Peter C.
Paul,
Scott.
Vicky.
Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce her surname.
I don't know how to pronounce her surname.
She knows who it is. But yeah, they're. I think the last one I edited was the grenade one, which was just hilarious. to edit.
Yeah,
They
that'll
seem
be
to
out by the
running
time.
away.
Paul, I think the last one to come out was the Paul Burns one, which is the one that Chelsea edited, the Outcast Dead. But
That was fun. That was really fun.
They're
I
just
love
like-
that.
I like doing the covers for them. I think they're
yeah, and they're just like a fun little sort of few minutes. Sort of, it doesn't take long. Me, you. It's usually the three of us. Me, you, me, and Alia.
Alia.
That come on, and literally we can.
we do about
do
4 or 5.
Yeah, in a sort of, because parents have to do it in the day.
Yeah, all 3 of us are parents, so we just kind of get together in the day and just do as many pat bites as possible, because they're quite nice, because they're normally easy scripts.
Yeah, and not too difficult to edit either, which is
No.
It's just, yeah, they're quite a fun little thing to sort of, yeah.
So
Well, we'll
like
keep going while we haven't got anything else to.
I must admit, there was the one that you've just. Are we allowed to talk about the one where with Strax in the dress?
yeah, that's out.
Oh, that's it. That's fine. Yeah, I loved putting.
Yeah,
Strax
that was
in the
another
dress.
Chelsea
That was-
edit.
That was my first time editing. And I'm not going to tell you how long it took me to do that one, because it was just nah.
Nah, don't like that one.
Nah.
The joys of
First
first
edits.
edit.
So
First edits.
first edit. But you know what? I'm happy
Your
actually
first
how
edit,
it
you
turned
started
out.
on a short script. How many of us first edit started on a full length? Yeah.
My first edit was Angels of Station 2964.
Mine was Deep Space.
Mine was Future Selves.
Like,
Because you know,
I've only done 2 edits so far. I've only done The Importance of Being Strax or Strax in the Dress and Outcast Dead. And I
Yeah.
have to say that Outcast Dead is it's just my ultimate favorite, because whenever I seen it, whenever I asked Abby and I was like, here, what is there any more pat bites that need to be edited? Because I thought, you know what, I'd give another stab at it. And she was reading them out and she said Outcast Dead, and I'm like, ooh, what is that about? Like, oh, I don't know, but it's set in a cemetery, and I'm like, give me
Yes.
that. I want that one. That one, mine.
want that
That is mine. And honestly, it's my
speaking
favorite.
of like short, sharp audios, so we do have a full length one coming out on the 14th of December. Last of Us.
Love it. Very excited. Very, very excited.
enough said. That's all we need to say. Right.
Last of Us. Oh Lord, they are so much fun to do. They're written by Mart, who is fabulous. Well,
He's
the
amazing.
first. So the 2 monologues, the intro episode and episode 2, are written by Mart. And the one that's going to be coming out at the start of next year is written by myself, Chelsea, and Grace, because we like to spread the love. But
Yeah.
The love.
spread the love. Yeah, so out of everyone here, Strax and Chelsea are involved in The Last of Us. How are you finding this?
I'm a villain again.
You are a villain again. I get to do an accent.
But
All of us
I
get
was-
to do accents.
I have to admit, I was nervous about doing this particular accent because it's an American accent, and I wasn't very sure I could. pull
Southern
off-
American as well.
Yeah. But the feedback, that's me personally, just for the accent I've had back from people who've watched a little sort of teaser of Galen, is actually quite good, and I'm quite happy that I've got the accent down.
I can't wait for people to hear the
Nice.
first full length when it's
Oh,
me
that's
and me and Strax are properly in that one, and obviously Chelsea's back as Ellie.
Yeah, me tormenting a certain character. It's just,
it's fun.
It is. There is something fun about playing a villain. I really, it's. I think I've played about 4 now.
It's very
There's something
therapeutic.
quite cathartic about it.
How is it playing Ellie, Chelsea?
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Like, from being a very big fan of the game franchise, because I remember I was out doing open water swimming that day. So it's just basically cold water, going for a dip. No heating, no nothing. And I remember coming back, absolutely froze to the bone, coming back, going on Twitter, because I was just new to Twitter at the time. And I'm still new to Twitter, but you know what I mean. And I was flicking through it, and I just seen this guy just posting about The Last of Us. And I was like,
hello.
I am going to reply to this tweet. And it was just saying about how he had an audio that was definitely on the back burner. He's wrote it, but it's never come out. So I give it a wee cheeky like, and I replied to him. I was like, dude, if this ever becomes a thing, I don't care if I get cast in it or I'm clicker number 74. I want to do this. And basically, followed him, kept in taps of it, and we were like literally talking about it. And whenever he brought it out, I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm definitely going to audition for it. Because the 2 female characters at the time was Ellie and Sophie. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh, Jesus, I can't do it. Like, I don't sound like Ellie. But then I was like, okay, you know what? Because I know Grace Beard, she was going to audition for Sophie. And I was going to audition for both. And then I was like, you know what? No. I'll just say, I needed a shower. I needed a shower that night. I'm not going to lie. And I was getting late. And I thought, you know what? I'll audition for Ellie. I'll see what the crack is. So I do my wee audition, whatever. I send her off. I go for a shower. I come back and he's like, would you like to play Ellie, please? And I literally was like, pure panicking. And I went downstairs like, Mommy, I got Ellie. And she's like, got what? And I was like, never mind.
You got
And
what?
So I
that's
went on
nice,
with these
dear.
guys, and honestly, like it's been such a privilege to like work with Mark, because he's some good crack as well. But see, his writing is amazing,
and his editing.
Oh, his editing here off the scale is class.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've had a cheeky listen to the episode myself with
Yeah,
Abby.
me too.
We've had a cheeky listen to it, and oh my god, like his attention to detail. It's again the same as like Abby. It's just like the attention to detail, but also the elements of the game are perfect.
The thing I love about a Mart edit is he doesn't rush. Nothing's rushed. Everything's well paced. But it is nice to get this game, this element of a game, and kind of twist it on its head. And basically, it's the equivalent of turn left with Donna. Like Ellie and Joel, instead of going to the right at the trees, they've gone to the left of the trees, and then they've bumped into Rebel and Galen instead of going the other way. It's quite a nice, refreshing kind of look at stuff, because it's enabled us to introduce more characters like Rebel.
But one thing as well, because
Galen.
like we have a lot of people in this cast who have played the game. And then there's some people who haven't. That's okay, Strax. It's okay, you're forgiven. And whenever I got the opportunity to write some of it,
that was fun.
I got a wee bit of my OCD, because like we all be writing everything, and I'd be like, a bloater wouldn't do that. What about his gas things?
I remember I wrote the opening scene for episode 3, which is obviously out next year, and Chelsea was like, good, yes, that's right, well done.
Yes, it was like a checklist just to make sure they're all doing the right thing. Yes.
No, you were basically doing what Ian does to his scripts, to Abby's. No,
basically.
It is like, oh, a bloater. They have things on their back. They throw gas. We need that. Yes.
Spores.
And then no, but just I'm wild bad, because I'd be like, right. I was like literally having a list of all like the wee enemies, and I was like, right, so lads, if we're gonna do a scene, clickers can't see, but they hear really good. They attack you. You can only use like a melee weapon to attack them. That's it. Runners and like just I knew all of them by heart. So like just doing this audio, like especially having a wee listen to it. Oh my god.
It's fun. It
Just
is fun.
oh,
I say, and
just
that is
so
out
touching.
on the 14th of December. I don't know when this is out, so I don't know whether that will be out before or after this. I don't know. Right. So next year, 2023 at
Ooh.
TT, what do we have brewing, guys? Without spoilers.
Without spoiling.
Sorry, let me get my
On
Darjeeling
this
ready.
note, be quiet because otherwise I'll be Tom Holland in this situation.
Yes.
Oh,
Always one
Who would like to start first?
Jim, let you start. Go on.
You go first, Jim.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting this. So we have Queer Doctor season 3 coming out. It is going to be an exciting season. What I will say is that expect the unexpected. And like I said before, we will also have Melvin season 2, which also expect
the
unexpected.
Expect the unexpected. I think that's your
If you
tagline.
expect the
Queer
unexpected,
Doctor.
you'll
Expect
expect
the
it.
unexpected.
Expect it.
But yeah, no, we've just done, so for Queer, we've done stories 1, 2, and 3. We've recorded it. Let's just say story 3 is an absolute tearjerker, and I won't say why.
Mm. Drax, what do you have in store for next year? Anything?
Possibly, yes. Well, I'm still I think I've got stuff. I know I've got. I'm literally sort of trying to tie up loose ends for getting stuff up for the end of this year, especially. Future has a Christmas special coming, hopefully in time for Christmas. After that, there will be a little bit of a hiatus before he comes back. But yeah, I am currently. We've got a few guest writers, so I know Josh has written a story. I'm writing a story, which is difficult for me because I don't normally write stories that long. But I know he's going to be back. Not sure when, because unlike sort of James has got his sort of serious mind, is sort of more of a sort of do a story and release it type job rather than series, which makes
I do
my
that.
life
That's
a
what I do
little
with
bit
Dickensian as
easier.
well. So
But yeah, there are a few stories. But yeah, I'm concentrating on our Black Friday, which is the Christmas special, which is a spooky wooky one.
spooky
Ooh,
wooky.
spooky Christmas.
Wookie wookie.
I've literally just done the trailer for it, actually, which I'm going to.
You
Which is
Chambers,
Yes.
my dear Pip.
Yes.
Next year.
That's not what's coming up. That's Matty. You've got your orders. Get the bloody hell on with it. No, this is My Dear Pip continues.
Luna.
I'm editing Luna, which by the time by the time this comes out, episode 1 will be done and dusted completely because I'm at quite a nice place editing
Can't
the
wait to
bloody
hear
thing.
that. I really
I'm
can't.
well excited for that.
So you should be. I've made it sound really nice.
Good.
That's
the point.
You will like it.
I want you to know that you are going to like it, whether you like it or not.
Not. I know where you live.
And then I'm working on a little side project. There's Dickensian. I'm writing an episode of that. So there's
Dickensian,
My
you
Dear
say?
Pip,
Who's
Dickensian, Luna, Secret Project number 1, and a Secret
That's
Project
literally what
number
it's
2.
called.
Yeah, that's
David.
all I can tell you.
David Chronicle.
I am very excited. It's finally happening, and I owe a lot to both Matt and Jim for helping me develop and get it going. And I love these two so much. But yes, we've got a new Doctor coming to our TT lineup. It's my Doctor called the Chronicle Doctor. I don't want to spoil too much, other than I will announce that the first episode will be called Where Nightmares Dwell. and it's going to have some connotations in with stuff we've had in TT's past. Like I said, I won't spoil anything too much there, but stories and all that. And with brain not working, sorry, just brains. But yeah, it's really exciting to finally bring Chronicle to the screen. I recently have just gone to America, so we shot some stuff there. We did like a teaser trailer. We've got quite a few shots. That's live action, though the series will be audio. We will be doing like a fun little trailer for the series, and that's a bit live action.
You love it.
I do. I was like, I'm at Vasquez Rocks where they shot Star Trek. I might as well shoot something.
No, when you sent that picture, I was
to.
like, oh my god, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, I was like, we have to do something
tricky
here.
and nerd am I?
I know. With Star Trek, we're gonna shoot Doctor.
So me-wise, obviously there's 10
What have you
episodes
got
of Dickensian.
Dickensian, is that your Doctor?
Yes. So the first episode by this point would have come out. The second episode is out in January. The plan is for them to just basically come out when they're done. I'm not gonna lie, because I have
And I'm
such a long
editing
list.
it.
Yes.
It's me. So that'll be January 2027. This is my first like full on
That'd be grand.
full on big episode written by the lovely Ian, who made it very, very soundy. Currently,
to-
right now, it is as we're recording this, it is Sunday, the 4th of December. Yes, December. And I have gotten to scene 4.
That's
I've had
alright.
this thing.
That's not bad.
I've had this since 4 o'clock.
Yes,
But you know what? It'll be
yes,
fine.
but Chelsea, we recorded it yesterday.
Yes, you did. And
Yeah,
Ian is very
but
good at putting
still.
in what sounds he wants, so it'll be
No,
fun finding what you need.
So Dickensian, that's episode 2 that Chelsea's editing. Episode 1 will be out at this point. I say there's going to be 10 episodes of Dickensian, which will come out when they are done, because I've got so much going on, it's ridiculous. And because of that, I am sad to announce that Paternoster Gang will be taking a break for probably about a year. I'm not going to lie. We have one more episode in the works, which is the last of the Just Jenny and Vashta ones, which is called Streetwise.
It's difficult to write.
No, Streetwise. You didn't write
Yeah.
Streetwise, I did.
No, I say, yeah, but they're difficult to write because they've not got a Strax in them.
Oh yeah, they are difficult to write.
But it's just 2 of them. It's really hard to
It
write
is
them,
really hard to do. But yeah, the last episode of Paternoster will be coming out probably February, March sort of time, and then they will be taking a break until probably November, December, because I've got so much on. However, when they come back, they will have Potato Man.
Yeah.
So that'll make life
But
a lot
we'll
easier.
still probably be doing little pat bites to put everyone.
Oh yeah, there'll still be
We've gotta
pat
do a
bites
few
going
pat
on.
bites, and if
Yeah.
anyone wants to write a pat bite, plug.
Yes.
Please do.
Come write a plat bite. It's my turn, Cath. A plat bite.
Pat bite. We'll be Paternoster
It's a
Gang.
cursed word.
Non-Who wise, next year we have Match Girls of Bow, which is about the Match Girls strike, which is something that I've been wanting to write since I started before Vashta, because obviously all of those characters were Match Girls. So yeah, that's going to be worked on in February sort of time. And also original stuff, we have Reanimated, which is me and Chelsea writing. That is zombies in the 1840s. That's
Of
fully
course.
cast. No clue when we're starting that yet, but it's cast. And The Touched. Kath is very excited about The Touched.
Way too excited. You
excited
don't
about The Touched.
understand.
Kathy.
No, I no, it's not the fact I'm in it. It's just the story.
Oh.
Oh my god, I genuinely, the ranting I have done to Abby about just I want more, give me more, I need to read it. I was like, I don't. You can kill me off. I just want the story. Can I come to the recordings just to listen to people?
But no, that'll be off. That'll be the first original to come out next year. The Touched. It's based around the world of HBO TV series The Nevers. However, you don't have to have seen it because Chelsea is co-writer and she hasn't. So I don't feel like it matters in the slightest. But basically, people with powers in the 1890s, because everything I write is set in the Victorian era, because that's my comfortable place. So there's 4 episodes of that planned so far. with more coming out. We're hoping to do a full-on 4-seasoned.
And how long did it
out-
take us to write those 4 episodes?
What, 10 days?
Yes.
10 days to write a whole season of The Touch. That's how into the script myself and Chelsea were.
It's
So
about 10 days to write one part of a future Doctor story.
I think it helps because, especially when me and Chelsea co-write with The Touch, especially, we're on the same kind of page and we know where we need to get to. And we know the characters now. I feel like we know the characters.
Oh yeah.
So we kind of know what they'd say and how they'd go about doing things, and it's been fun. I have enjoyed The Touch.
You swapping accents.
Oh yeah, we
for
swap
that
accents
one.
for it, so that's interesting.
And that's
Cath's
all
a
we can
whore.
say because well, anyway.
Cath's a
But-
whore.
Apparently, that's my
I play a
comfortable place.
bastard.
You play a bastard.
You play
A total
that's
bastard.
And that's all we'll say
before.
That is it. Yeah.
before we spoil everything.
Yeah, but that is fun. That is going to be a fun series when it comes out, I feel.
100%.
So
Gonna be
yeah.
so good.
Do we have anything else coming out next year? Did we start off
No, I
next
think
year?
we're busy enough.
Yeah.
I think we've
I
got
think
We'll probably
quite a
find
lot.
something. You know the
Probably
way it
other things
works.
that we've forgotten.
We sit, we talk, and then all of a sudden we've got 20 more ideas, and we're trying to shoehorn it into.
I will say this. I am currently writing another pure historical, which is Shackleton. So that'll probably be out middle of next year. Because I have to actually finish it first. Yeah. So yeah, but
And then
that
there's
one.
any other projects?
All I know about Shackleton is I know that Shackleton is being played by Jimmy Wolfe. Yeah, that is it. So yeah, that was our TT roundup. Do we have to add anything? Anybody want to add anything? James?
I want to add something because we have been a channel for over a year now. And for all of us to have this content and for all of us to be, I think we should give everyone here and everyone who has worked a pat on the back, a little certificate, a repeater badge, an Oscar, a Grammy, or whatever, because we have shown through talent and perseverance and through, I feel like I'm doing like a preaching choir.
And sheer bloody mindedness.
But I think all of us have really shown and I think really improved, and I think we should thank everyone who has been a part of TT's journey throughout 2022 because 2021 it was all little bits in here and there. 2022 we went full steam and we are heading towards
Well, even just like us lot here, the amount of things like you can see the growth, like Strax's writing, Chelsea's editing, like Cath's bin leads, David's got his doctors like sorted and it's coming out. A lot of us have achieved a lot this year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And
That's along with our everyday lives as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Like,
life.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's
live
bad,
jobs.
jobs,
it's
children.
difficult enough
Yeah.
doing some of this stuff, but when you're trying to fit it in around kids and work and
Mm.
whatever
All of the
else,
above.
it can be
Drama.
The people
Yeah,
working
it's
in
drama.
different
Of,
areas.
a nightmare. Or if you've got people in different countries,
Yeah.
But yeah,
that can be
we
slightly
should
more
be
of a
like,
complication.
we really should be proud of ourselves, like through all that TT has achieved, and especially now, like we've hit the over 500 mark, which
Right.
is absolutely unbelievable, especially
just
for a
good.
channel that's basically just like freshly started. You should all be super duper proud of yourselves. Like I remember listening to stuff and how much you have, grown and improved within yourselves, within your different characters, and your like everybody's sheer talent is absolutely unbelievable. And everybody who works in TT or works or has worked with TT should be really, really proud of themselves. I'm proud of yins all. I'm proud of everybody. Yins are class crack. Love yins.
I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that has worked with all of us, whether it's a queer future chronicle when it happens. It's just the some of the actors that we've got in who have never done anything like this before, and some of them just been absolutely knocked out of the park, and it's just absolutely amazing working with all of these people. and for the 500 and however many it is subscribers we've got. Thank you very much for watching us.
Yeah, thank you
Because
so
if you
much.
hadn't have done that, I doubt very much we'd have carried on with the amount of stuff that we've
Yeah.
got coming up, because we'd have gone, no, we're not getting views on that. We will drop that.
Yeah, I think we have to again thank our 500
Mhm.
subscribers, and thank you to people who listen, and thanks to those who listen every week or listen every
Yeah, whether that
episode,
be YouTube or Spotify.
or YouTube or
Mhm.
Spotify, and just
And the writers, the editors, like,
Everybody, absolutely
everyone.
everybody.
Our families for putting up with the fact
Yeah.
that
The
Yeah.
strange loud
My
voices that
family
God
who
knows when at
still
night.
doesn't understand what I
No.
do.
like, the
same.
amount of times I've stuck a sign on that door going recording in progress,
Recording and
so I don't get interrupted.
So yes, thank you everyone. So that was 2022, and here's the 2023.
Yes.
go.
Oh.